Okay. Hello, Kate. How are you?
Hi, Anne. I'm good, thank you.
Good. Kate, tell us about you and your business at
Yeah.
Up Coaching.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Kate from Up Coaching, and I'm a coach and NLP practitioner. And what I do is I help women in creativity to work with their why. So that means that finding out what their values and drivers are so that they can live their life with purpose and passion and create and design the life that they truly want. And what that means is that, yeah, I help them go through looking at what their inner desires are, what their values and motivations are, and what it is that they need to do to live a creative life. And then we help them do that, exactly that.
And why just so your perfect client is creative people?
Yeah, well, I have a mix of clients. So I have a mix of people who work in the creative industries who maybe want to branch out on their own or go away from a 9 to 5 job, or sometimes now like pretty much a 24-hour job, and branch out and do their own thing. So setting up their own business, or somebody who has a creative project that they actually want to get started with, and they're not quite sure how to start, or somebody, a lot of the time I get people who have very creative interests, but they're not exploring and using their creativity, so they feel like there's real lack of motivation and that they're at a real crossroads in their lives. So we help bring creativity back into their life in whatever shape or form that is, whether that's something that they actually do as part of a job or just something that they do because they have to do it, because they love to do it, and it's a hobby and it's a passion. It just means that they get to bring creativity in their life where maybe they don't have it in their day-to-day job.
So it could be people who are creative but are lacking the confidence to go and express themselves and make money as a business from their creative side,
Yeah.
or people who run a more traditional business and want to bring more creativity into their business.
Yeah. Or people who just have worked for somebody else and just don't feel like they're really giving a true sense of their creativity to their life overall. And when we work together, I don't tend to just look at the business or the work aspect. I tend to look at that life overall. So how everything fits together, because we're creative in every sense of what we do. It's not just about what you do from, say, having a project or having a creative business. You're creative in your whole life. So we look at the whole picture of their life and what that makes up, and we bring it all together. So we don't just focus on one aspect.
Okay, so I think that could be relevant to loads of 10 to 8 users and the community. So that'll be great for other 10 to 8 people. And it looks like you are quite creative yourself. So I guess you talk from experience.
Yeah,
Because you've made money from your passion.
absolutely. And I came to do that by, I've always been a creative person. I always was. And I come from a music, a fashion background, a writing background, and I got into marketing and I was working in advertising agencies. But I was working with clients on a more of a business level. And what it came to be is that I was working a lot with creative people, and they would come to me and they'd say, I feel like an imposter in my life, and I feel like somebody's going to find me out any minute now. And there was something that it happened a lot again and again, and a lot more with women than it did with guys, actually. And I thought, there's something behind this. What is it about women in creativity that they don't feel like they can really own their space, but they have to do it? They have to be creative in order to live, because without their creativity, it was the oxygen that they breathed, but they just didn't feel like they were part of it. And actually, what that resonated for me is that I was so interested in this idea of creativity and how it really drives people, that I decided to retrain as a coach. And as part of that, what's been amazing for me and my business is that I get to be completely creative. So I get to write, I blog all the time. I get to create my website, for example, and create all of the images that go with it and all the content that I do. I create events. I bring creative people together. So I've been, I have a true outpouring of my creative spirit and my creative soul. And that's what keeps me really motivated in my business. So I know I'm living my passion. I know I'm living my why because I'm helping other people bring their creative spirit.
Cool. And would you say that creativity, I mean, what you were saying about creativity and women and sometimes, not living their whys, etc. Would you say that it's often, does creativity and self-confidence go together well, do you think?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting point, and one I talk a lot about on the stage is the fact that creativity and confidence often have a bit of a battleground, because the thing about creativity, and there's this amazing word called meraki, which is a modern Greek word that means that when you're creating, you add a bit of your soul to whatever it is that you're creating. And I find that really interesting, because whenever you're doing a creative project, if it's something that really means a lot to you, or even if you're an agency world or in a business sense and you're creating something for somebody else, you're putting an essence of your soul into it. So when you're doing that, there's a lot of fear that goes into that, because what if it fails? What if somebody doesn't like your idea? What if you get criticized? You've put a bit of your soul into that work. So that means that there's so much at play. There's so much. But actually, confidence, and I work with people to make themselves feel more confident and work with more confidence, because a lot of the time people come to me and they say, well, I've done that before and it failed, so I'm just not going to do it again. But they're not living their why. And when they don't live their why, they feel complete lack of motivation and completely flat. So it's about building up the confidence to say, give it a go. Get okay with failing, get okay with things not going to plan. How can you protect yourself when you get criticized? What do you need to do to take a step back from it? So yeah, creativity and confidence, not always friends, but actually when you feel the fear, sometimes that's where some of the really good creativity can come from. But it's just knowing how to protect yourself in those situations.
That is I've heard that so many times from people, whilst doing 10 to 8 work, just helping small business owners live their passion. I've heard, because they do, once you made the step that you're going to do what you really want to do, if it doesn't work, then it's really you that gets hurt.
Yeah, and it's not just you. Sometimes, a lot of the time there's other people. You've told your friends and your family what you're doing, so there's a pride thing, and the ego gets in the way of, the ego's there, such as, sometimes that inner fear comes up and it goes to town when something doesn't work. But actually there's ways that you can kind of balance that out in terms of how you keep yourself motivated and how you keep yourself protected and what you're listening out for when you know that's coming in. So it can be terrifying, but it also, like I said before, if you don't do it, that can be even worse, because that's when you're not really living
what you want to do. Yep, I can totally get that. And you've been, I mean, as a business, I mean, what you say is just, I could just keep talking all the time about this. I just think it's so exciting. But you've been, just and I think you sound so passionate. You come out really like you know your stuff, and I feel completely happy to have you as a member of the 10 to 8 community. I think so many members of the community can bring so much to each other. I think it's really good.
Yeah, and it's so important when you're working for yourself is to find your tribe. That's been an essence of what I've been able to do since I've worked. And when I left agency world, it was terrifying. I jumped off the cliff and I was like, oh my God, what if there's no safety net there? But it has come in thick and fast. And that has been through engaging in business communities, engaging with creative communities, working a lot with other people who may be coaches, but they maybe have a completely different area that they coach in, or other creators, and us all coming together and collaborating and helping each other out. It just, you know, you're supported, and you know that you can learn from each other. And when you are having a bit of a crap day, you can just call somebody up and go, oh, this has just happened to me, and they can help you out.
This is great. And you, as a business, you started using 10 to 8 a long time ago. I can't remember when,
Yeah.
but you were, and you know, could you tell us, has it helped you? I mean, what impact has it had? Do your customers like it?
Yeah. I mean, the great thing about it is I wanted to find a tool that I could just switch on, and I would help me organize myself, because as being a creative mind, I'm all over the place a lot of the time. My head is, you know, thinking of a million ideas at the same time, and also getting very excited about my clients' businesses and what they're doing and their projects as well. So I'm always kind of researching and sending them bits and pieces over. So I wanted something that could take the hassle away from having to organize things for me. So something I could put in, something I could use as a scheduling tool for myself. And also what is really great is the fact that the notifications go out to the client. So I'm not having to constantly think, all right, I've got this client at this time, I better just get in contact with them to make sure that they know where they're going and where they're turning up to. So it's fantastic. And the other thing that I do like about it is that because obviously, as I am my brand, my business is my brand, and people buy into people. So I wanted something that was a reflection of my brand. So it looks good, I can customize it, and yeah, it kind of says it's that extra bit of my business.
Yeah, and you've made it look really nice. I'll put the page so that people can check out how they can contact you, and because it does look really, really, really good.
Thank you.
But that's good. It's good to work with creative people who like a good look, to make a good looking booking page. And you know, I if I get to meet you, I so want to spend time talking to you and getting coached by you, because you come out so passionately. But obviously, you can't meet all your clients face to face. So how do you market yourself as a because you live, I guess you, wherever you live, there are not going to be so many creative people around you that can be your target audience. So have you used the internet to extend your?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, especially in coaching terms, these days, and even with NLP, like, it doesn't matter where you're based. You could be based in, you know, Greenland, Australia. I have clients in the States, in Europe. I work with people all over. The essence of attracting your client, or going and finding the clients that you want to be working with, for me, is about getting inside the client's head. So I know who my client is. So I know and this is a really good, and I'm sure people out there will know this, but if you're thinking about who you want to be working with, know exactly what it is that they need. So knowing what keeps them up at night. So I know what keeps my clients up at night. I know what their problems are. I know what their challenges are. I know what motivates them. So knowing what it is that they need helps me to think about having content and information on my site directly answers any questions, or it can ask the questions that they might be challenged by. So knowing who they are, knowing where they hang out, that's really important. You know, lots of communities online. So going into those spaces and going and having chats with people, you would not believe how many people I've met through the internet. And as I said, like, finding my tribe of creative people, when we do meet up in, say, London or Brighton, for example, when I haven't met them we always say oh, it's you in real life. And it's just so nice to kind of go, oh look, you're actually real. Like, I only know you off the computer. I didn't think you were actually real. And but you kind of use the internet, find out where people hang out, understand what their key challenges are, what their drivers are, and go and hang out in those spaces and just start chatting to people.
Great. That's one of the things that we want to create more with the 10 to 8, around 10 to 8, is that community, because there's people from all different businesses. So the community is a really important part for us.
You never know where your next collaborative project's going to come from. You know, how you can share information with each other, share blog posts with each other, do videos together, how you can, I mean, I've done workshops and talks, retreats with people that I've met in my field that have come from communities. So yeah, it's massively important.
Great, that's good to know, because sometimes, you know, when you're trying to start a community, it can be hard work. So it's great to know that it works from people who it's meant to work for.
Absolutely.
And if you had any tips to give to other small business owners, or if or from other people who are, you know, not sure about starting their business and considering going for it, what would you say?
Well, covering some of the stuff that I've talked about already, I would definitely go and find out who your audience are, know where they are, know what they're talking about, understand them inside and out. Find a tribe of people that you want to be working with so you feel supported. And just start one thing every day. Somebody actually posted up on another community the other day was, what's the 1 degree shift that you need to do? Because quite often it can feel really overwhelming. You know, we feel like we've got this whole elephant and how the hell are we going to eat it? Do it one bite at a time. What's the 1 degree shift that you need to do to get you started? And how do you break down everything that, you know, this massive project, how do you break it down? And who do you need to help you? So, for example, if I'm not very good at admin, or shall I say, I'm probably really good at admin, but just don't enjoy it. So who can I get to help me to do my admin? Because I know that from business communities out there, there's loads of VAs and loads of other people that can service what I need. So if they can help me, I'm sure that I can help them in some other way. So where can you, because in a small business, we have to do everything, right? We have to be the marketing person, the finance person, the sales person, the everything. Where can you give away or give some tasks over to other people that might be able to help you out, so that you can concentrate on, if you're a creative business owner, doing the things that actually really light you up and are really going to take your business forward?
Thanks. I think that's really that's a really good tip. And if there's anybody in the 10 to 8 community who's heard this and now is desperate to come and get some help from you, apart from follow the link, is there any special deal you would give them? Anything, you know, to give them that extra helping boost?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd love to offer a 30-minute discovery call with any potential 10 to 8 customers. So that means that you can bring to our call anything you want to bring. So any challenges you might have, or anything that you've been thinking about you want to work on, or actually a lot of the time it's when people are thinking, well, I'm not quite sure which way to go next. In fact, I don't know what it is I want to do, but I know I want to do something different. Bring that along. So bring anything that you want and we will coach around that for 30 minutes. And it's completely no obligation. You don't have to work with me again. But at the end of that 30 minutes, you will have one thing that you take away that can move you forward. Just one step that can move you forward to where you want to be getting to, whether it's making a decision or doing something different or moving forward with your business or getting unstuck. That's what we'd work on.
Cool. I think that's a really good idea. Do you mind if I also ask your help now that I know your business much better, within the 10 to 8 community, when there are people within the 10 to 8 community group, I often ask coaches or people whom I know have a specific expertise. I will ask for their help with a, oh, could you help me answer this, or how would you do this, or what would you think about this? So I hope you won't mind helping me out on this.
Or if not, you tag away and I can help out in any way you want.
Thank you, Kate. Well, thank you for talking to me, and have a great weekend.
Yes.
And I'll talk to you soon again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.